Thank you everyone for joining us for another RGI Easy Sewing tutorial, and today we're going to show you how to do waistbands. Come on, let's do this. So this fabric is what we're going to use to create our waistband. So I'm just ironing it to remove all creases. Once I am complete, I'm going to add our interfacing, which will stabilize our material. This interfacing that I am using has adhesive on one side and the other side has no adhesive, and then to attach it you're going to need to iron it. Next we're going to serge one side of the waistband. This will help to give our garment a professional finish. I'm now about to attach the waistband to the skirt, and as you can see, I have placed these straight pins here to be indicators for where the stoppers are. You will remember in our video on how to put a zipper, I mentioned that it is important to leave out your stoppers and not put them too close to the edge of your garment to ensure that when you actually put the waistband on or whatever finishing you are using, that it stays out of the area. So I have these indicators to show me exactly where that is, so that I do not sew over them or I do not sew under them. This is my right side. This is the right side of the garment, and I am leaving out ½ inch of the waistband. So this will actually be the part that I sew together to close up the side of the waistband. I'm working with approximately ½ inch sewing allowance. If you have never put waistbands before, it is wise to go slowly. That way you can pace yourself. Remember, you always start and finish with your reverse stitch, which locks your sewing in place. So this is our first part. With this skirt we are going to use buttons as our finishing, so we want to leave approximately an inch for our button space and then ½ inch for our sewing allowance. So I'm going to cut right here at 1.5 inches. I'm going to fold, so I am folding the waistband, and notice that I am folding it equally. And I'm about to sew ½ inch. This side will be the side I put my button on. This is the side where we left only ½ inch. Our buttonhole will go there, and in our next video we will show you how to make your buttonhole. So if you have not subscribed, you should subscribe to ensure that when we complete that video you are notified once we put it up. So this is how we are looking so far. You can see everything is already aligned, so that when we are done it will be in place. Now here, I know not everybody would have a serger, so that means your edges would not be finished like this. In that instance, your pinking shears would have been useful in ensuring that you have a nice neat finish. But another option at this point would be to fold your waistband inward. And because we left 1/2 inch sewing allowance, it would make that very simple. In my case, because I have my serged edge, I'm just going to leave it like this. Of course, I'm going to ensure all of this is on the inside, and I just put everything just like so, and I begin my stitching. Now with your stitching, you also have 2 options. You can do what is called a stitch in a ditch, where you would put your stitches inside of this area. This, for a beginner, would be a little bit more difficult than if you do the second option, which is to sew on the waistband approximately 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to show you how to do the second option. As I put my material on the inside, I will place my straight pins so that the fabric will stay in place. And just turn it around so you see what I'm doing. Okay, so our underside looks like this, and our right side looks like this. Again, I'm going to measure every area to make sure that I have my waistband the same size all around. The old adage says to measure twice and cut once, so we're going to measure to ensure that we sew once. Okay. I'm cutting at the corners to remove bulk when I sew. When we come to our edge, this is how we want it finished. So I'm putting this in place, and I'm just going to double check to make sure the size is the same. All right, it is time for us to sew on our waistband, and remember, this time we are working with 1/8 of an inch option. So here you have our underside, and this is our front. This is what our waistband looks like when it is complete. So our button will come right here. Our buttonhole will be on this side. Our button will be on that side. So I'm going to use this small piece of material just to give you an idea of what the stitch in a ditch effect would look like. So when you do the stitch in a ditch, the idea is really to stitch in this area right here, so that you don't see any sewing. So you do all of the steps that we did before we stitch the first example. Always reverse in your starts. So here you have it. So this is the finish we have when we use the stitch in a ditch method. So now you know how to put your waistbands. I trust that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Thank you. Until next time. Bye.